Hello future tech leaders, I am Sindhuja. Based on my own experience, I know that learning the right skills can shape our future. What if I say learning was as thrilled as the tech world itself? There we go. A cloud foundation, that's exactly what you will experience. From day one, you will be immersed in the interactive sessions and expert-led courses that covers most of the widely used technologies in the zone of data science to cloud computing, which brings more light to the life of a techie. I'm so excited to help you and unlock the true potential of a technology. Well, then why to wait? Let's see what it unfolds.
Alright, perfect. Let's just quickly start the order to cash process from the creation of sales order today. Alright, without further ado, let's quickly jump into NetSuite. And again, for all the transactions, the navigation is transactions, sales and enter sales orders. This is the navigation that we will follow to create sales orders in NetSuite. I'll click on Enter Sales Orders. This is going to take a couple of seconds to open up the form, but that's fine. This is basically our sales order form. And I'm going to select standard sales order form here instead of any custom form, just to make sure that we are reviewing all the standard fields of NetSuite. Here again, I'm sure you by this time you are aware of the concept of all these sterics. Anything that is marked as steric is going to be mandatory, and we need to provide all those details. The first things first on the sales orders would be your customer record. You need to select the customer for which you are creating that order. Let's say, do we have a dog? No, we don't. Let's see Samsung. We created this customer in our last session, a Samsung I Nancy. I'm just going to select this. Again, this is going to take a couple of seconds to select. We'll just wait. And I'm sure you're already working on NetSuite. You realize that production is not that slow. This is actually a trading instance. Don't worry about that. We have our customer selected, and you will notice that my subsidiary is automatically selected based on the customer that I selected at the top. Right. Now here you will again notice a few things. Date. This is basically the date on which we are creating this sales orders. This is again, a US training account. You will notice that still the data is 31st, but we are already on the 1st now. You can change the date from here. Like, if you need to change the date, you can just change the date. This is a sales order date. You will notice that the status of the sales order by default is pending fulfillment. However, if you are using any NetSuite approvals on your sales orders, then your status would be pending approval. Based upon you know your organization's requirement and your business processes, you can change the status of the sales order to either pending approval or pending fulfillment. Pending fulfillment means that as soon as you enter this order would be eligible for the fulfillment process. And if it's pending approval, then someone has to approve it before it can be fulfilled. Alright? This is the basic difference between them. And I will see as we save the sales order. If this is, a large order, a large sales orders, and need a start date and end date in which you are going to fulfill this. You can set your start date and end date for the sales order as well. Again, this is non-mandatory and you can also keep this blank. You can also enter the customer PO number. Whenever your customer gives you a PO, you can capture the PO number here. Again, pretty important field, especially from business perspective. The sales channels. I think this is a custom field created over here. You can capture your sales channel against which you are capturing the sales. You can provide a memo like whatever the description or any particular reference that you need to capture on this sales order. We'll then move forward. And here you can assign your class, department and location. This is the location on which you are going to be fulfilling the sales order. Let's say I'm going to be fulfilling the sales order from my San Francisco, US location. I can select my location as San Francisco, US. And if I need to assign the sales to a particular product category or sales channel or whatever you're using as your classes and tie the sales order with this class, you can do that as well. Again, non-mandatory, you can skip this, but very important from sales perspective that you assign it to a class, if not department. I'm just going to say product line. Moving forward, these are all custom fields. It's not worth it to discuss each of them, but I'm just going to enter something here. It's not stopping me from saving it, but these are all custom fields, nothing standard here. And we'll then jump onto the items. Here we are basically going to enter the items that were ordered by the customer. Again, I can use the list from here. I'm going to click on the list with these two arrows. It's going to open up that list for me, or you can just type it over here. Like I have 5, 7, 8. Let me just type that. And here it is. My favorite item, SC571. I'm going to select this item. This is something that the customer has ordered. And you will notice all the price levels and rate will automatically be populated. I can adjust the quantity to whatever quantity that was ordered. Let's say, customer ordered 10 quantity for this item. Here, by default, the list price or the base price was selected, but I can change the price level if I want to. On the sales order level, if you need to change the price level for this customer, you can also change that. Let's say I want to give them a 10% discount prices. I'm going to select 10% discount and you will notice that a discounted price automatically got populated. You also have that option. And what you can also do is, and there is this custom option right in the bottom. If you select custom, you can give any date that you want to give them. Instead of any depopulated price level, you can also give a custom rate. Let's say I want to give them a rate of, let's say 900. Now I have the authority of the sales trap, or anyone who is entering the sales order would have the authority to change the rate by themselves rather than using the NetSuite pricing. And here you can enter the sales tax code. Any sales tax that you would want to apply. On the sales order, you would be selecting that sales tax code. It is 8.25 cents. And this is going to be applied as a sales tax. And here there's also one very important thing that I also want to show is let me just pretty quickly find that. You can also provide your dates on which you are, expecting this to ship. Let me find that really quickly for you. Supply required by date. When you need this item to be fulfilled to the customer, you can provide all those dates as well. Let's say I need to fulfill this by 7th of January. I can provide my date over here. And you can also capture your expected ship dates on your line level. Just to make sure that you are making your inventory available by that date, because that's the date before you need to make sure that the item is available in your location for fulfillment. This is more on the supply chain planning side. Based on the expected ship date, you will ensure that the item is available in your in-house location. You can then send it out to the customer. Right. This is how the supply chain planning would work based on the expected ship date. Now you can enter any more items as well, based on what is being ordered from the customer for the sake of demo. We'll just keep it simple to one item and we'll explore other fields that are available on the sales order. Here you have your important tab called Shipping. Here you can provide your actual ship date that you are expecting this item to be shipped. Let's say we are targeting to be shipped by 7. I'm going to enter my ship date here. You can select your shipping carrier. By which carrier you are expecting this order to be shipped. You can select that. By default, NetSuite gets integrated with UPS, FedEx, and USPS. You can do that. You can also create your non-integrated shipping carriers. I can select FedEx and more, and I can select my shipping method right now. There is only one shipping method, but you can create more shipping methods like truck or LTL or a container or whatever There are multiple shipping methods that you can create and select over here based on the method that you are going to use to fulfill this order. I'm just going to be using a Proton shipping method. You will notice that automatically based on the shipping measure, a shipping cost was populated, but here I can also change the shipping cost. This is basically the shipping cost that I'm going to charge to this customer for my freight and delivery cost. Say 200. This is basically the shipping income that I will get or I'm going to charge to my customer. For instance, whenever you order online, right, there is always a shipping cost that gets added to your cart. This is basically that shipping cost. And here you can also select the ship to a address. This is basically the address on which we are going to be fulfilling these items. If you don't find any, you can just simply click on a new or the plus sign over here and you can provide the address for this customer. You can enter address line 1 to city state. And then the best thing is that based on the zip code that you select on the shipping address, NetSuite will be able to identify the sales tax code to be applied on the sales transaction. And if you are using the FedEx, UPS, and USPS integration based on the zip code and the state and the city that you select over here, NetSuite would automatically be able to calculate the right shipping cost for you as well. Again, for that it is important that you have your FedEx integration enabled. But I mean, just for information, you have that option as well. Alright. Once you have established your shipping methods, shipping carrier, shipping costs for the sale, you can also go into the billing tab over here and you can select your terms that you would want to apply on the sales order. Let's say I'm going to give them a 15% net term for this sales transaction. I can provide that over here. I can select my billing address. For this customer, If there is a separate billing address and a separate shipping address, you can select a different billing address over here. Or you can just simply use the same shipping address that you are going to ship on. Alright. And then in the accounting tab, you have some information here. You're looking into the currency of this transaction. This is basically in a USD dollar, a US dollar currency. Anything that you save will be saved in USD. If you need to change the currency for this, you can also do that. But for that, it is important that the different currency that you want to apply is also assigned on the customer record. Remember, on the financial tab of the customer, you had the ability to add more currencies. If you deal with them in different currencies than the base currency. And one very cool feature of NetSuite is the gross profit calculation. Standing on the sales order, you can also determine what profit you are making on the sales transaction. Based on the sales amount and based on the item that you have selected, NetSuite will automatically create a gross profit just to show you what profit you are going to make on the sales transaction. I can see that I'm making a profit of 28% gross profit. And I think this is good, in terms of making money. I think we are fine. And in the relationship tab, you can add any contact person for this particular sales transaction. Again, nothing mandatory, nothing, something that will impact your overall transaction process. And finally, in the sales team, you can assign an employee that is your sales rep. Perhaps that would be assigned for the sales transaction. Let's say, Adrian is my sales rep for this particular sales transaction. He was the person who actually, won this sale for us. I'm going to assign this, and, maybe later Adrian would also be getting some commission on the sales. I can assign a sales rep on my sales transaction. Alright. And in my communication tab, I think this is alright. Once I save this, I will also show you the communication tab, but these are all the important fields and important tabs on the sales order document. And once you have, verified it, once you have validated it, you can simply save the sales order. Alright. In the communication tab, you also have the option to be emailed. If you directly want to save when you save the sales order, and if you want to send out an PDF email to your customer, you can mark this as to be emailed. Give your email address, and automatically next week will shoot out an email. If I don't want to do that, I can simply uncheck this and simply save the straight order. If not, we need to send manually to the customer. Exactly. If you don't want to do this manually, and upon saving, if you directly want to send out an email, you can use that to be emailed. The sales order is now saved, and you will notice that the status is pending fulfillment, which means that now the sales order is ready for your fulfillment process. And if this was in pending approval status, someone had to first approve it, and then it would go in my pending fulfillment status. Let's see. Audible. Thank you. And finally, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.